I am sure that anyone who's been playing Genshin Impact for a good while have all experienced this feeling before, where you just feel exhausted when you boot up Genshin and see your dailies, especially when it's another gosh darn balloon escort quest. It's almost as if you weren't playing a game, but you were in fact doing chores, and now you need some actual entertainment from a funny guy on YouTube to cheer you up. Hi, I'm Shioboo. You normally don't get to see my face around here, but today is a special occasion, because I'm going to be doing a deep dive into why playing Genshin Impact has become so draining when you used to love it so much. So to discover why Genshin has this impact on older players, we'll have to compare it to other games that many people play as their main games. But first, what is a main game? I'd say it could be understood as a game that someone mainly plays whenever they have the time. I am no professional main game analyzer, but using my monkey brain pattern recognition, I think there are 3 important characteristics these games have that make them people's main games. First off, these games respect your time. You can play hours on end without getting bored because they aren't artificially prolonged by fillers, but made with quality over quantity in mind. This makes you feel like the time you've spent was worth it and not a waste. Like how a good movie could make you forget the time because you are entertained throughout the whole thing. Second off, these games have good replayability. There are many possibilities with every playthrough, which allows the player to make new choices and switch things up. Games like Elden Ring, where there are many different weapons and build options, or like Breath of the Wild, where you can go straight to the final boss if you wanted to, or in sandbox games like Minecraft, where every world is procedurally generated so it feels like a different world each time. Now finally, these games have you coming back over and over again, not because of FOMO, but because it's fun and addicting, like how winning a clutch in CSGO will give you a rush of adrenaline unmatched by other games, or the pure joy you feel when you finally beat that well-designed but difficult boss with your butt clenched on the 40th try with barely any health left in Souls games. In MMOs, this fun comes in the form of leveling up, progressing and growing as a character the more you play. From what I've seen, most main games have at least one or more of these characteristics. Now if we use our monkey brain pattern recognition again, we can see that Genshin also has similar characteristics, but with some crucial differences that sets it apart from most main games. When it comes to respecting your time, the Archon quests are fully voiced and can be very good, to the point where many would want to return just for new ones. But when it comes to all other quests, only story quests are voiced, and most of the times those stories aren't even about the characters, but about random NPC number 5 you'll never meet and speak to again. So we would want more Archon quests, right? Well, the development cycle of Genshin is kind of like an anime. So every year we get a new season, and the main story in these seasons are done in around 3 patches. What about the rest of the 6 patches? Well, that's where quality content isn't the main focus anymore. Because what you're getting in these patches are FOMO limited time events where you play through time-gated story and Mario Party type minigames. Look, if I wanted to play Mario Party, I wouldn't be playing Genshin because partying is way more fun with other people.
Don't make a scene.
No! Now onto the replayability. I think replaying the first 2 nations in Genshin can be very fun. Since it's still pretty simple to level up characters at the start, getting different ones to beat the early game area is pretty entertaining. However, the unskippable story, way higher resource requirements, and most importantly, Paimon, makes it unbearable to play past Liyue. There's also another thing about Genshin that I came to realize while preparing for this video. So Genshin takes a lot of inspiration from Breath of the Wild, right? You might say it's too much, but I wish they took even more. Because unlike Breath of the Wild, Genshin is a very linear open world game in terms of the story. You may be able to activate waypoints in Sumeru at the start of the game, but you won't be playing the story there until you finish Inazuma. You also can't just go to Inazuma and beat the Shogun whenever you want. You have to first finish all prerequisite quests to even unlock Japan. So there really isn't a way for you to choose which nation's story you want to do first, and you'll have to follow the same story with each and every account. Now onto the third and last common characteristic, the fun and addictiveness of the game without the use of FOMO. Well, Genshin is a gacha game, so it's already a bit of a stretch. But if you just look at the base game without the FOMO, you can see that Genshin still somewhat has this characteristic. At the start of the game, it's really rewarding to level up, explore and open chests. but again that doesn't last for very long. After you reach AR 50, leveling up will be exponentially slower while the rewards barely change, and the exploration will also start to feel samey with mediocre rewards. I know this because I've been through it all. Well then, if leveling up isn't too rewarding, how about the multiplayer? I think here is where the potential for a fun and exciting co-op game is wasted, because all you can really do in co-op is 10 minutes of resin spending and stealing each other's materials, which is still the best part I'd say, but no raids, questing or PvP. All we are really left with then is the combat, which is actually pretty fun with all the epileptic elemental reactions you can unleash upon your enemies. It's just a shame that most fights end up just being a damage check. Once you've built your characters, it's a one-sided stomp, and if you haven't, you'll hit like a wet noodle. This is only worsened by the fact that currently the only real form of endgame that revolves around combat is the Spiral Abyss, which frustratingly keeps getting more and more tedious to do, with higher boss health, immune bosses, annoying enemy spacing, and much higher enemy damage with very unpredictable moves like these annoying frickers. If you're wondering, it's been like this for almost 3 years and the devs still don't plan on releasing any other permanent combat modes anytime soon, since it apparently could become too stressful for people to do. But again, that wouldn't have been a problem if they didn't keep artificially increasing the difficulty of it. So from the 3 common characteristics, Genshin really only manages to hit some of them at the start of the game or when an Archon quest is released. Otherwise, it's clear that Genshin has a hard time fitting in with the other main games. If you still don't believe that Genshin isn't meant to be played as a main game, let me convince you through the actions of the developers. You see, Hoyoverse used to be called MiHoYo before they rebranded. This new name actually better suits their brand now because of their development of all these anime-style games in different genres. Honkai Impact 3rd, Honkai Star Rail, and Genshin Impact are all pretty successful. But what do these Hoyoverse games have in common? They are all unfinished games that drip feed their story to the players with new patches every month or two, with these updates being spread apart so they don't interfere with the hype between the games. The devs want you to play all their games for 20 minutes each day and be sucked into the spiraling abyss of Hoyoverse games. I think that's one of the main reasons they don't add a bunch of endgame mechanics for each game, because it's not beneficial for them to have their player base only play one of their games every day until they get sick of it and stop completely. It's better for the longevity of all their games if the player base frequently switch between them. Now that you see why even Hoyoverse wouldn't want you to main their game, how can treating it like a side game positively affect you? Well, when it's just a side game, you don't have to log in every day to do dailies. You only have to play it when you feel like it. So when there's another TCG patch, respect your time. When the new 5-star characters that get released are worse than 4 stars, respect your precious time. When you still can't pet the doggos when a new nation drops, respect your precious freaking time. But jokes aside, I've been playing this game on and off since it launched, and I've always felt better playing it after taking a break. When I was about to give up on it a few months ago, I started this channel as a way to cover the game more and find new ways to play it. Now I'm having a lot more fun with Genshin and subsequently Star Rail because I get to share my experience through this channel to so many wonderful people. I always hoped this game could be something that it was not, and because of that, my expectations were doomed to fail. Ultimately, it's up to the developers to make the right decisions, but when they can't do that for whatever reason, you should choose what's best for you. So do what is fun and what was made with care, like new Archon quests, new regions, and not what was made to waste your time, like daily commissions and FOMO events. This isn't only true for Genshin, but true for any other game out there. Heck, you could even apply this to all other forms of entertainment. Entertainment should be entertaining. If it's not, then it might as well just be a chore. If you expect entertainment and keep getting chores to do, it can't be good for your mental health. So stop, and don't let that Stockholm Syndrome tell you otherwise. Thank you all so much for watching. This video took quite a while to make, so if you've enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe to help the channel grow. I will still be making videos about Genshin and Star Rail. This was just some food for thought in case you felt the same before. I hope you all have a nice day, and Shioboo out.